what's your view of a guaranteed basic income for all Canadians?
It's not that I'm against for it, but I'm not for it either. I guess what I'm trying to say is, where do you draw the line? Who determines the median guaranteed income? You know, a lot of people view that as communism. Well, you're just going to be a bum and collect a paycheck. Well, some people can't work. People forget that Canada has the largest concentration of boomers in the world. Our population is getting older. Is there enough money in the kitty to cover a pension every month?
Oh, I think that's sensible. I mean, it seems to me, if you go out and work, put in 40 hours a week, and you're not making a proper income to be able to live properly, then there's something wrong with that picture. I think that everybody should be able to live a certain way. And in the old days, we used to call it the working poor, which I don't think, if you're out there working and doing your part, you shouldn't have to stay poor, or you should at least be able to put a roof over your head and feed your children and send them to school, et cetera, et cetera.
I think it's a great idea. It would solve a lot of trouble. I think some people are way too rich and spend their money foolishly, and there should be more equal distribution of all resources on this planet. It really makes me sad.
I don't think it's a particularly good idea. I think it's better to have a system where people figure out, you know, how to make things work for themselves, and either you get a job, you become an entrepreneur, you get out and be part of creating positive, you know, like just really doing things for the economy, rather than thinking, oh, well, I can just sit back and I'll be taken care of.
People are quitting work now because they say they've already got enough money from the government to live on. That's ridiculous.
What's the incentive?
Yeah. It's free,
I
and
can stay home and get paid for doing nothing.
I think it would be good to help people get back on their feet, maybe for like a limited amount of time. If there's more support in helping people find jobs, I think that would be more effective, maybe.
Oh, I'm for it. I think it's really important that we all have a solid foundation for us to all live off of, and you know, there are that small minority of people that have greater than the rest of us, and I think it's really important that we all have equal footing. And so I don't qualify myself, but I'm really glad that there is support for those who need it during this really critical time.
Oh, I'm with her. No, I think it's long overdue. And I think that if people realize that people are given that solid footing, how much more they can contribute as well. And especially the number of children, I think it would benefit who are in need, because we don't have that in place. And then along with that, we might throw in also mandatory sick days.
I'm assuming that it would come from taxes later on, right? And I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of paying like super high taxes. I love the programs that we have already in place. I really liked CERB. I used that and it was really helpful, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think I agree. I think that would definitely ask the question of where's the money coming from? Like, is it coming from everyone who is working, and therefore people who are not working are benefiting from the people who are working? I see how that could be kind of controversial in terms of how that may upset some people. So I mean, economics is not my strong point, so I'm not 100% sure. But I think, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think guaranteed basic income is a good thing. I think it would be successful, and especially right now when a lot of people are out of work, that they're out of work to no fault of their own. So I think to support all Canadians through this would be an appropriate thing.
I think it's super interesting. I think there's lots of merits. I think there's people who could really benefit from it. I don't know enough about it. I don't know if it goes to everyone. I guess as a guaranteed basic income, it would go to everyone. But I just don't know enough.
I like the idea. I would say I'd support it. But at the same time, he's gotten us into so much financial hot water where we're almost like $1 trillion in debt. If he hadn't have been so reckless in all of his other spendings and things he was doing, then yeah.
Basic income, I think it's important, especially for, single moms and families that, they've lost their jobs over it. I actually was on the CERB benefit for about 6 months, and I've gone back into business for myself, which is good. But so it was benefit to my family, and definitely helped us through that.
You know, I think everybody has a right to make enough off minimum wage in order to survive and live a healthy life and provide for their family.
Yeah, because for me, because I don't have a work right now, I have only a part-time. So if I don't have support from the Canadian government, so I don't know how can I survive. So I like to have something like a support from the government, for the federal government.
I think that's something new to try. I think maybe the federal government and provincial governments maybe need to look at rehauling the whole system so that it can be a little bit better, so that people are not taxed to death in Canada, and maybe there's more ownness for having an income.
Actually, I'm all for people that are actually trying to do good and help themselves. Example, 2 minimum wage earners that have a couple of kids. If we can find a way to help them out to have a little better standard of living, yes, by all means, go ahead, because at least they're trying. But for someone just to sit at home and collect a check, I don't think so.
That robs people of dignity and self-respect. I think it's a dangerous road.